I don't know. So should we preemptively thank these people for listening, or should we just say welcome to the show?
Are you recording now, or is this another? Are you trying to prank me?
No, we're recording for real this time.
Okay. I think we should preemptively thank them for listening to the show.
That's right. This is Movie Munchie Party. I'm
Nom
Dirk.
nom nom.
God.
I'm Joe, and we're here to take you through the wonderful world of life as seen through the eyes of movies. And if you haven't shut off already, then good. We want to get out the riffraff.
That was a beautiful and very wordy introduction. I don't know. I just like to tell people it's a conversation about movies.
It is.
And that's one of the big things that we talk about. I mean, when we get together, conversation usually gravitates towards movie.
It does.
Topics anyway. So we thought, why not make a show about it?
Because our conversations are pretty good. We think other people should listen to them.
We are so compelling that we think other people should listen in on our conversations.
And all our fans agree. In fact, I think maybe later in the show we should call up one of our random fans.
I think so too.
Maybe challenge him to a game.
Who knows? We'll see where the night takes us. So for this first episode, we wanted to talk about youth group movies. The movies we saw while in youth group. I really wanted to talk about youth group movies because I feel like the movies I saw in youth group were not the kind of movies that one would think you'd see in youth group. And so I was curious, did you go to youth group? Were you a youth group kid?
I was a youth group kid. And now there were a couple times that I did not attend youth group movie events.
Oh.
There was a movie. It starred Greg Kinnear. It was called Dear God. It was about people who wrote letters, and he worked at the. I'm just gonna go off memory of what I think the movie's about.
Okay,
since I've never seen it.
I love it already.
People would write letters addressed to God, and as the salutation, it's opposite. Whatever that's greeting. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Salutation was right.
Okay, dear God, and he would take those letters and he would answer them as if he was God.
So wait, was this like a newspaper column where he'd give out advice, or was it like when you write a letter to Santa Claus or the president? Because those are both in my mind they're about the same level of mythological. When you write a letter to either of those men and then you get a letter back and it's like, oh wow, a letter from the president, and it's just like, thank you for writing me. I really appreciate it. Vote for me in the fall primaries.
Well, I don't think the president has to be in the primaries, but we'll save the politics for one of those other podcasts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would like to assume that it's just he was a mailman and he committed mail fraud by stealing letters and decided to write back to people. Because also, if you're writing a letter to God, you really need to make sure you put your return address, or else how would he know where it goes, right?
Well, yeah, an omniscient God isn't going to know your zip code.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to look it up on whatever this movie was, 96 probably.
Yeah.
So I assume he took the letters, he opened them up, and then he would write back.
Okay.
That's what I assume the movie's about, and probably at the end, I imagine he learns a lesson, but that's just hearsay. I did not go on that trip, and do I regret it? For the purpose of this story, yes, I do.
I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't go watch that movie. Now I kind of want to see if I can rent it.
You know what? As we were recording here in the library, I bet right upstairs.
That's true.
I bet there's 4 copies, and they're all not checked out.
You know what? I didn't want to give away the fact that we have such a fancy recording facility.
Our secret location. Now, as most pirate radio lovers will attest, our location will change, though we can never be exactly pinpointed.
Is it lovers or lubbers? 'Cause
now, if you're a land lubber, does that mean you're a land lover?
Yeah, you like the feel of the earth beneath your feet.
I prefer the earth to the sea if I'm walking.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to have sea legs on the land.
We know that you do not.
Dear God, it sounds like a typical youth group movie.
They do not have it at the public library.
Really? That's a shocker right there.
They do have God's Not Dead.
Oh, well, I'm not too surprised
Which
about
is the
that.
youth group movie of the kids these days.
Right.
In fact, I knew some students, and they went to go see God's Not Dead through their youth group trip. They were very pleased with it. So
Mission accomplished.
mission accomplished. But one thing that I do notice here that I don't know if it's true, the director of God's Not Dead is listed as Harold Kronk. And I just thought that was funny.
Well, after his career on as Yzma's henchman, he went on to direct faith-based movies.
That's possibly what happened.
That's the story that I'm going to ascribe to from here on out.
Oh, apparently I have looked Harold Kronk up on IMDb because he's in purple.
Been down that road before.
Oh, he's 2 movies of The Adventures of Mickey Matson.
And what pray tell is that?
Well, The Adventures of Mickey Matson and the Copperhead Treasure. Let me just show you the picture and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
It looks like they took the framing of the Night at the Museum poster.
Yes.
And just superimposed their own images on it.
I imagine this was the kind of thing that did not have a lot of conflict involved in the extraction of this diamond crystal. Too soon?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a little too soon.
Maybe cut that out.
No, I'm not going to cut that out.
All right, good. Good. I don't mean to make light of the plight of thousands and thousands of people.
The people who work for the Blood Diamonds.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
on that note, so one of the most notable movies that I can remember at a youth group function was Arachnophobia. We had a lock-in.
Scary.
Yes. We had a lock-in. And I think it bears to be said that I went to a pretty conservative church growing up. And it wasn't the type that you would just... Actually, it was kind of a big deal that we had a youth group in the first place. There were a lot of older people.
Don't want those kids getting together.
It was very, I don't know, very old school. And so we, as a youth group, we had a lock-in. And someone brought a tape of Arachnophobia. And we put that in at about 3 a.m. And I remember watching it and just kind of being like, okay, well, spiders can bite you. They're kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
But I was more shocked at the fact that it was being played at my lock-in. But it was just a shocking movie to see at my youth group. Like we played Sardines and then we watched Arachnophobia.
Imagine if you would have played Sardines after you'd watched Arachnophobia, you would not have been able to hide because what if there were spiders?
Yeah. Spiders all over the place.
Now, hopefully you didn't go down into the wine cellar at the church. I assume there was.
No,
and it was filled with spiders.
There's no wine cellar.
One time, this was kind of like a youth group-esque activity where we went over to the youth pastor's house. Now, the youth pastor was an early adopter. This was mid to late 90s, and they had a widescreen TV.
Ooh, wow.
Pretty fancy. Widescreen, big, huge box style.
Like one of those projection TVs?
It was a projection. Or? It was kind of just like a regular, like a tube TV.
Okay.
But it was widescreen.
Okay.
It was 16:9.
Wow.
And now the issue was that there was no 16:9 content to view on it. So what they did was they would zoom in and crop everything off the top and bottom. Now let me tell you, you haven't seen Independence Day.
Oh boy.
Until you've seen it formatted for a 4:3 screen and then cropped for a 16:9 TV.
It sounds horrible.
You couldn't tell what was going on. I wouldn't have even known that Will Smith was in that movie.
He was just the narrator of that movie. Welcome to Earth.
He said, punchingly.
Yeah. I like punchingly as a descriptor.
Yes. Now, there was one time that we were in the middle of a switch of youth pastors.
Oh, okay.
And so old youth pastor was out, still trying to find a new one. But some of us steadfast young youths were like, we will not have not youth group.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, Sunday night, youth group time. You know what? For some reason, the church was open. That's just...
Well, churches.
So we're like, let's go rent a movie. And so we go to the video store and we're like, okay, well, what are we going to get? And we ended up picking The Devil's Advocate, which is this movie with Keanu Reeves
Right.
and Al Pacino, and he's the devil. It's a very hard R picture.
Yeah.
Watched in a church. Why? Because it was in, and I don't know, other things weren't.
Well, The Devil's Advocate, it kind of sounds like it could be a faith-based movie. Maybe about a lawyer who is like one of those really slimy lawyers, and then he finds God, and then he starts becoming a nice public defender. I don't know.
Apparently, I rated this movie a 4. I've rated like 8 movies on IMDb, and this was one of them.
A 4 out of what, though?
10.
It's not terrible.
Here's the first line. Hell awaits me.
Nice.
This movie involves plenty of sexual contents. Now, they wrote it as contents, including full female nudity, kissing. So we start off with full female nudity and then go to kissing, incest, oral sex, and sexual dialogues and references. Parents should take caution during sex scenes in this film because they often contain graphic female nudity. For example, Charlize Theron exposes her vagina, including her bush, breast, and of course nipples.
Wow.
I don't remember this happening at all. And of course, the nipples.
Well, of course.
Of course.
I mean, if you're going to show your vagina and bush, you might as well just show your nipples too.
Yes. I do remember the scene with naked female sculptures coming to life. That I remember.
Wow.
I feel like I blocked a lot of this. And then incest innuendo at the end.
Kissing cousins, if you know what I mean. Wink,
Yeah.
wink.
Profanity. About 55 F words. I want to know who... I should go to the edit history and find out who wrote that, because it's really descriptive.
Like that's a great description. That's almost like Wikipedia level description. Wikipedia synopses of movies are some of my favorite things to read, because just like the voice of some of those that are written, you can tell have not been written by any industry professional whatsoever. But we can talk about that another time.
We'll talk about movie synopses on Wikipedia. That'll be episode 10, maybe?
Yeah, we'll say episode 10.
All right.
But maybe if you're a good audience, we'll bring it closer. Who knows?
Yeah.
Another movie that I wanted to talk about, and this was such a bizarre viewing experience anyway, but I saw The Manchurian Candidate with my youth group. It wasn't the original, it was the remake with Denzel Washington and Meryl Streep. And it was such a bizarre situation because we were on a mission trip in Canada.
Now, okay. A mission trip to Canada. Please
Right.
explain.
One of our old vicars had gotten assigned to a church, a very small church in a suburb of Toronto called Brampton. And so we went up there for like a week to help them, with yard work and help some of the older people in the congregation or whatever. So that was like our mission trip. So we were up there, and it was one of those days where they were like, okay, well, we'll just have fun today. Or it was like at the end of the day. I remember it was close to the evening.
At the end of the day, you just want to go watch The Manchurian
You
Candidate.
just want to unwind.
And what better movie to unwind with than this tense political thriller?
Yes, that's also really kind of trippy too.
Yes.
A lot of weird mind things. But anyway, we go to the multiplex, and there were a few different movies that we could choose from, but the only two that I remember, like the big two that we were deciding between, was The Manchurian Candidate and Spider-Man 2. So I don't know why we didn't go with Spider-Man 2, but we went with The Manchurian Candidate. And I remember everyone just being horrified at the end of it. They were just so disturbed. And I walked up to my pastor. He's kind of an older guy. I walked up to him and I was like, so, Pastor, what did you think of the movie? And he just looked at me with a very grave look and said, I did not enjoy that movie one bit. I said, oh, okay, well, talk to you later.
Now, even though that was rated R in the States, the colonies,
Yes.
up in Canada, it was only 14A. So,
Let's see, what year did that come out?
2004.
Okay, 2004. So I would have been 16, So I'd have been right in the age range.
Other movies that have a 14A rating in Canada, Nightcrawler.
Ooh, yeah.
Any opportunity is a good opportunity to recommend Nightcrawler.
It's a fantastic movie.
So mostly lots of movies that are rated R in the United States.
Well, that's good to know. In case I ever have a family and I take them to Canada and I need to know what movies I can take them to.
What a 14A is equivalent to in the United States.
Or the colonies.
Yes. The colonies as everyone calls them here in the colonies.
That's right.
Now, Titanic actually is 14A as well.
Ooh.
So if you are 13 and a half, well. Now, one thing that I've always thought was, one scenario I've always thought that I'll bring up here that I've loved is that what if there was a mom who was very, very strict about ratings, and her child was 13. So they could watch movies that were PG-13, but they could not watch TV shows that were rated TV-14.
Ooh.
So here's the scenario. Like, hey, Mom, can I watch this movie like on TNT, edited for content? No, it's TV-14, but you can watch the PG-13 unedited version.
See, that seems more legalistic than anything. And that's a pretty big loophole to exploit.
Yeah.
So if the mom or whoever set that rule up and didn't realize that huge loophole, I think they're kind of asking for it.
Yeah, and I feel like if that kid were able to exploit that loophole for 1 year,
yeah,
then more power to him.
Absolutely.
You know? Plus, it probably is it in the correct aspect ratio on TNT.
It was probably formatted to fit your 4:3 screen.
Yes. So, no Spider-Man 2 for you.
No Spider-Man 2. I had to watch that in the comfort of my own home.
Well, that's the way it's meant to be seen.
It was a good one.
Should we finish up with a non-youth group related Spider-Man 2 story?
Sure.
Well, I went to go see Spider-Man 2 on the day it came out, meeting two friends, and we were going to go to the 11 o'clock show. And they were like, oh, man, it's like in the morning. Like, oh, we're going to be late. So we had to go to the 11:30 show. And they tried to keep it a secret. The reason that they were tired was because they were out late the night before.
Yeah.
Can you take a guess as to what they were doing the night before?
Were they at the midnight showing of Spider-Man 2?
They were! Over 10 years and...
The bitterness is still there.
It's a little bit there. And mostly it's because in the 11:30 theater, the sound cut out every once in a while.
Oh, really?
And not like cut out completely, but cut out to like it wasn't, like it sounded like it was coming like just from like the front speakers, and then it would go to the surround.
That sounds more irritating than anything.
Yeah, if it was on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd probably give it a...
1 being the least annoying, and
1 being the least annoying, and
yeah,
and 5 being the most. I'd say it's probably like a 2.
Yeah, just enough to be irritable.
Yes, I can't remember the title of the movie, but there was a movie watched at youth group that was about drinking a bunch of milk, or maybe somebody was drinking milk.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody was drinking it. Somebody was doing the milk challenge. Is that a thing kids do?
Yeah,
where you drink a gallon of milk.
Well, if you drink a gallon of milk, I think in under 20 minutes, you either... And I don't know how accurate this is. Either you throw up or you die. I can't remember which one is which.
Well, I think someone was trying to do that. And then in the movie, there was a line where someone said, oh, honey, drink your milk. And we all laughed. Now, I can't remember the name of the movie, nor is the situation nearly as funny as that situation. Imagine that situation after drinking a bunch of Mountain Dews.
Oh, yeah.
And sitting around in the dark and on a couch where you're like, there's way too many people that should fit on that couch, but like maybe you get to sit next to a girl you like.
Yeah.
So it's okay. That's how funny it was.
Okay. It sounds mildly funny.
So youth group. So youth group movies. Yay or nay?
Yay. I'm all about youth group movies.
I also yay.
Because I don't know, it was so awkward, but it was also a lot of fun.
Because like you could watch a movie with a group of friends, and it's like, okay. But anything with the youth group, it's kind of like...
Most of these kids I never hung out with outside of youth group anyway, so...
Yeah, so of course you got to watch it. Here's why you didn't go see Spider-Man 2. Here's the parent's guide. A man and a woman kiss a few times in a few scenes.
Oh.
I like not only how risque that is, but also how specific it is.
But the thing is, like, if I remember correctly, in the Manchurian Candidate, there were a couple of moments where they alluded to incest between Meryl Streep's character and her character's son.
Apparently, I voted on that movie as well on IMDb, and I gave it a 7.
Wait, the Manchurian
Yes.
Candidate?
So I voted for like 10 movies, and 2 of them we brought up today. All right, according to the Parents Guide on IMDb, which is the first, last, and only stop you need.
Yes.
Sex and nudity. None. But there's one scene where Eleanor kisses Raymond on the lips in something of a motherly way, but then pauses there as if there's something more, possibly incestuous.
See, what did I tell you?
Ding, ding, ding. Shall we go to our next segment of games?
Yes, let's play some games. We actually, for our first episode, we have one of our biggest fans, and he supported us through this whole first episode.
Through our whole, like, back when we were doing this to a room of 3 drunk guys in a bar, and little did they know that we were gonna make it big with our own podcast that's on the internet.
So we want to welcome Adrian Boknivsky. Let's give him a call real quick.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, you're on a podcast.
How exciting is that?
Okay.
So, Adrian, you've been selected at random to play.
Out of our loyal listener club.
Yes, the vast ocean of listeners that we can select from.
Yes.
We've selected you, and you get to challenge either Joey or myself to today's game, which is called the Movie Phone Challenge.
Yes.
So let me describe the game to you really quick so you know what you're getting into.
Right.
For our Movie Phone Challenge.
Well, first, who do you challenge?
I guess, for all time's sake, because Joey and I used to do similar things like this, just having dinner all the time would be probably Joey.
All right.
Excellent.
I accept.
All right. So here are the rules for the Movie Phone Challenge. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock.
Ooh.
And I am also going to pick an actor at random. What I want you both to do is to write down as many movie titles as you can for that actor. And at the end of 30 seconds, we'll compare the list, and whoever has the most unique answers wins the challenge.
Now, do you mean unique as in, like, we both don't write them down, or unique as in most interesting?
Let's say both, because you might have the same movie titles on there. And so what I'm going to say is if you both have the same movie titles for someone, then that answer cancels out.
Okay.
And it doesn't count towards your final score.
All right.
Now, if you have one question before we begin. If you write down the name of a movie that actor or actress is not in, do you lose points?
Yes.
Okay.
That gets subtracted from your score.
Okay.
So you can't just make something up.
Yes.
Essentially. Okay. So the actor that we are going to go with
okay. So
is J.K. Simmons, and I'm starting the clock now.
Oh man.
The suspense is just building, and I don't hear anything from Adrian, which means that he's busy writing away. All right, we have 15 seconds.
Oh no.
This is not very good for me.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. All right.
All right.
All right. You start.
I have Spider-Man 1 through 3.
I have Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. Dang it.
Yeah.
All right, so you get 1
There's a
point. So
point.
far.
Okay.
Let's see. I have the movie he's known for right now, which is Whiplash.
I also have Whiplash.
Okay.
I have Harry Potter 1 through 7.
He's not in Harry Potter.
He wrote those, didn't he?
Are you making a joke?
This is a horrible troll. And this is no time for joking. We're trying to figure out the winner of this
He only
challenge.
wrote those books, didn't he?
You're hereby disqualified from any future challenges.
You now have negative.
I got the State Farm commercials he was in.
That's not a movie.
Oh, that's not even right, because it's Farmers Insurance, not even
No,
State Farm.
it's Farmers Mutual. Do you have any other movies, Adrian?
He was on Oz, but that's not really a movie, is it now?
Joe, what about you?
I have Burn After Reading,
Yeah?
Juno, and Up in the Air.
Okay.
He's in Up in the Air, right?
He is in Up in
He's
the
more
Air.
likely to be Up in the Air than in
He was...
Harry Potter 1 through 7.
He wrote them, didn't he?
Just be quiet, Adrian. That's... No. Another movie that you could have written down instead of Harry Potter 1 through 7 was Extract. He was an Extract.
Okay. Was he an extra in Extract?
Oh. I think the final score comes to 3-1.
I don't know.
No,
Harry
3-2. 3-2 because Adrian did have Whiplash. Or
No,
you...
I had it.
Okay, so...
But not Harry Potter. He lost like 7 points right there.
Yeah, I think you win by positive. I think I win by, you win by...
This isn't...
margin, 'cause-
This isn't golf. You can't win by negative points, Adrian.
this isn't like a number line here. Farthest to the left is the winner.
Well, Adrian, you get a nice...
I tend to win for making a hilarious joke. And
All right, I'll give you half a point for that hilarious J.K. Rowling, J.K. Simmons troll.
Oh, that's right. That's the name, J.K. Rowling. Wow, he's a cool dude.
Yeah,
All right.
He really is a cool dude.
Yes.
I feel like I'm on Reddit right now with all the trolling going on.
I feel like I'm in the bathroom in Sorcerer's Stone because of all the trolling going on. Huh?
I feel like I'm in Central Park.
All right, that's
All right,
We will have
with-
no troll in Central
I'm-
Park in this podcast.
I'm cutting it off at a troll at Central
pro
Park.
Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy on this podcast, but we're anti-troll in Central Park.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes. Adrian, thank you so much for playing the Movie Phone Challenge with us. And
Perhaps you'll be randomly selected again next time.
no, that's definitely not going to happen. Not after that J.K. Rowling stunt.
Did I blow it, guys?
You blew it. I love you, but you blew it. All right. Well, Adrian, thank you for joining us. And maybe we'll talk to you again soon.
Maybe.
May the force be with you. That's my sign off. I just made that up.
Oh, boy. All right. Thanks again, Adrian. You're a good sport.
Yes.
Good old Adrian.
Good old Adrian, #1 fan. Thanks for playing with us.
And that's it. That's
Sorry.
that's it for us for this first episode. We hope you enjoyed it.
Come back again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, a fortnight is all you have to wait until our next episode. And that's it.